What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of
Bruising Reviews.
It's been a while. COVID's kept us out, but we are back. So, what's been going on, Steve?
None. Been busy. Now that everything's kind of opening up, we get to do a lot more cornholing. Is that a word? Corn.
It is now. It is now.
A lot of traveling, a lot of playing. So it's back to where we can find something every day of the week. So that's nice to do.
Yeah.
So,
great.
But yeah, happy to be back doing an episode. Yeah, I like seeing your mug every once in a while.
Sweet. This just in.
Yeah, this just in from Ventura, California.
Got some special news, do we?
Special. I think it's special enough to
You want to bring
some magic.
You got some magic?
Got some
Let's see
magic
it.
happening.
Let's see it.
Oh, since we got some Tournament of Champions Spencer bags here for their Game Changer Smooths from
Game Changer Smooths.
2019-2020. The Tournament of Champions.
Those match your jersey.
Yeah, exactly. See that? There's
All
a
right.
reason why I did that today.
Let's see what you got.
You see? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, hey John, how you doing, buddy?
Wow, you still
What's
have
going on?
magic, Steve.
Man, no, what were you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John, the man, the myth, the legend, Spencer McKenzie's, and the man who started the world's biggest cornhole tournament.
I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a pin-found Dixie whistle in the wind that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country. We turn the dirt and work until the week's done. We take a break and break bread on Sunday, then do it all again, 'cause we're proud to be from God's country.
Yep.
It still is the world's biggest, I think.
And I just got that news thrown at me, so I'm sure there's some big stuff that's going to be going on now.
What's going on?
All right, well, let's
going on?
spill the beans. So, is Spencer's happening this year?
Spencer's happening 100%.
That's awesome. And
Yeah.
do we have a date?
Same dates. So weekend before Labor Day, always that weekend. And I wasn't going to let the city change that. So I don't work that way.
Yeah, well, let's talk about where.
All right, so I've been, unfortunately it's been a long ride this spring, knowing what's going on and having a definite answer whether it's going to happen or not. So the city of Ventura still isn't, even though the state is opening up, they're still not processing permits. So I had to make a decision. I've been negotiating something for the last couple weeks with somebody, and I didn't want the players to have to wait. I mean, potentially if I were to have it at the park, I would not even have a definite answer until maybe the end of July. So you can't do that. People got to get prepared. They got to get arrangements to
Not
travel.
that big of an event, yeah, with everybody coming from
So
everywhere.
I decided last year it was, our theme was go big or go home. And I think I told David, we kind of hit pause, and now I'm hitting play, and I'm hitting play right back to go big or go home. So I'm going bigger. So we're
Well, I'm excited.
Bigger and better.
We
Yeah,
and
going
Steve
bigger.
kind of know a little bit about what's going on, but yeah, I'm
yeah.
excited.
So we're the State Fairgrounds, which is just a couple minutes down from the park. I mean, all the people at their hotel rooms can still just walk if they like to walk. It's just a couple minutes. I'm moving
and it's
it.
even closer to the beach.
It's close to the beach. I'm moving it to the fairgrounds, the state fairgrounds. So the venue, they set up a venue down there during COVID, Concerts in Your Cars. It was very successful, and I'm taking over that venue. So they're setting that venue up for outdoor festivals now. So I'm taking over that venue for the weekend. You will have the beach in the background. You can walk down the promenade to my restaurant. It was only a 5-minute walk, so it's still
Right.
close. But taking it to there is going to open up the door to my dream, which we can get in that maybe later in the show. But it opens it up to making this event have the room to grow and do it properly.
Right. Yeah, there's plenty of room there. And then didn't you also say that it's not just going to be on the blacktop? You're going to actually have some other things going on to make the play even better.
Yeah. So the parking lot is the venue is very large. So a couple benefits. There'll be a parking lot next to it that you can pull in and park, and you can walk right in the gate if you're going to drive. If you have a designated driver, and then you have this large venue. So my vision from the beginning of this, when I started this, my block party started 12 years ago, was I started my business going to Coachella and Stagecoach and events, and I always just was intrigued by how Coachella did things and the experience. It's all about the experience. I mean, they got to a point where they sell out that event before they even announce who's going to play,
right?
Because people know they want to be there no matter who's playing.
Right.
That was my dream. So they want to be there no matter what the payout is. They want to be there for the experience and be there because they know it's going to be big.
Right.
So this venue is going to allow us. You will see the beach in the background. Funny enough, the stage is the original stage from Coachella Music Festival, and it's insane. The stage has monitors all the way around it. It's a production. So when you walk into the event this year, it's going to be a major production. It's hopefully going to blow people's minds. So the parking lot was used for the disaster a couple years ago, and after they were done with that, they brought mud and stuff in there from the slides. They repaved the whole parking lot. So the parking lot's all brand new, flat, perfectly flat paving. One of my biggest sponsors is the marijuana dispensary. And so, that one was for Smokey. I thought, I'm gonna bring in a dispensary for Smokey. So I got another grass sponsor this year, but it's fake grass. So we still have Smokey's dispensary coming, but we also have a fake grass sponsor. So, excuse me, all the courts are going to be on turf. So on the stuff that looks like real lawn.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll have the stuff comes in 15 by 100 rolls. So we'll actually have our courts will be completely in fake grass. So you'll be playing, the bags will be on the grass, you'll be standing on grass, tables and chairs will be on.
So your hands
on
won't
grass,
get all
so
dirty.
We're gonna miss the black hands.
Black hands.
No, so but that being said, we're going to be able to have the room for the amount of boards we need for the event.
Right. And you were saying how you wanted to make it a big kind of sort of festival thing that people will want to go to. I think you've pretty much already built that in general with being the biggest cornhole tournament in the world. This just adds even more to it, to where now you're going to bring in even more people because you have the area, more sponsors, more booths, just more things to do for the whole day. I think it's really a win-win for everybody on that, and it's going to happen this year.
Yeah,
It's gonna
so
happen.
super exciting. For me, it's just, I want to thank you and your team for actually getting this thing on for, us that are very passionate about the game.
right.
And people don't know how hard you work in the background. They just come and sign up and play, but, you and your team do, a lot of good things for.
Well, not
for
only
us
does
as
he
well.
run a successful restaurant, I mean, he's
Yep.
doing this, and this isn't like a 5-minute
Yeah.
deal, a day. There's a lot of mechanics and moving parts in the background that people don't understand to do this big of an event. So, yeah, thanks, John.
Yeah, so
appreciate it.
you say bigger and badder. What else is gonna get big?
Well, so I'll going back to that. So I kind of got in a funk for a while, like everybody. The COVID kind of drowning. I'm always so excited for it. I get excited about the event as much as all the players coming because I'm excited to see everybody, and it's definitely a business venture for me, but it's all about the weekend. I look at myself as one of the participants, not the person running it, right? So
Well, and after 12 years of doing it too, it's
yeah.
like a reunion with some of these players for you too.
Yeah, for sure. And then, so last year we had the tournament of the champion because I just wanted to just keep something alive and do it.
Right.
And all I could do was just have a few teams at a private place, but I just wanted to keep it alive. And then, everybody thinking, by next year, it's going to be no problem. Well, then I get into January and February, and things really aren't changing. And we live in a state where, you know, the restrictions are definitely a lot tighter here than other states in the country. So then you start getting into March, and I'm like trying to contact the city, I can't talk to anybody. And then it's like, well, when we open up June 15th, we're going to start processing permits. And then I find out they may not even allow anything till the fall. So so I kind of like I wouldn't say lost my motivation. I just kind of, how do you start talking to sponsors? How do you plan something that you don't
even know if it's going to go off?
And then a couple weeks ago, I got contacted by the promoter of the venue down there, who I'm very good friends with, and he's very successful and very good at what he does with his events. All of us in Ventura have been down to the Concerts in Your Cars, and he does a great job. And so offered to me to be able to take my venue down there. And after I met with him and drove out of there, the fire just like,
right.
I just went straight to my office, and I haven't stopped
trying
since,
to get this thing going,
like till 10 o'clock at night, like trying to. So him and I. So we've made the agreement. So I'm, you know, it's a big move for me because production to take it from the park to there is triple my cost. So I had to weigh all those things out. What's it going to do? The festival is going to be good for it. Is it? And I pretty much, I wouldn't say I sold myself on it, but I realized like we've arrived. When everybody gets there this year, I think they're not gonna say, man, I wish it was at the park. They're gonna say, damn, I never thought in my life it would evolve into this.
Yes.
Right.
And if anybody could pull it off, it'd be you guys. So,
yeah.
It's always been like the place to go.
Everybody, I still travel the country with the Jersey Guy booth.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go, they hit me up, and they hit up Steve all the time too.
Yes.
Online, when we travel, is Spencer's happening?
I know.
I just like that I have an answer to give them now, because before it's just like, man, I don't know.
I know, none of us did, and that's why I couldn't even really, you know, like finalize things with sponsors, and I still haven't yet. Now that's happening right now because you can't go, you know, print the jerseys and print on the boards and print on the bags when it's this big. It's not like we're making, you know, 10 jerseys and 10 boards and 20 sets of bags.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I find out you're not going to get a permit.
Right.
You know, so that but going back to the team, I definitely couldn't have built this up with all the people in and out in my business and outside my business. You know, I look at David as a partner in this with me. David, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for David. David's brought a lot to the table, and then I wouldn't be where I'm at without the relationships I built with everybody involved, from Joe with the CCA to guys like Ken Jones, who I've just been talking to since the beginning, just a player, to Chris, to you, to Rob, to, you know, Uncle Bob out in Indiana.
Right.
Like, you know, I've talked to, you know, Dickie Adams 2 or 3 times on the phone, because I just like calling Dickie because it's like he gets excited, you know. I call him and he answered this morning. He's like, oh, I'm really busy, but what do you got real quick? And I said, well, Dickie, this is going to happen. He's just like ecstatic. So that's why you do it, because you have people that care about it, and we're all benefiting from it. Everybody in the country that has anything to do with cornhole is benefiting from this. Every league, whether, you know, it's a small league in a town, or it's the ACL, or it's, you know, which is the biggest in the world, everybody's benefiting from this weekend of, I like to say it's like the Super Bowl of cornhole.
Yep.
It's and this is like the red carpet. Like, if the who's of who's want to be there now, everybody wants to be there. They want to be involved in it, and it's not just me. It's for all of us. I'm just the one that's taking the big risk.
So on that note, about people wanting to be there. So those that were not able to get in, or get to the festival, is there any hope for them?
Can we talk about it?
We can.
Well, I know you had 500 and some odd.
So we sold out 576 spots in basically less than an hour. When I was at David's office that morning, it was insane. Like, it was just watching this thing spin, and It got to probably about an hour. There was like 24 spots left, but they weren't processing because there was too many.
Right.
It was just
Too much
spinning.
traffic.
Too much traffic. So I would say that probably, I mean, conservatively saying it took 60 minutes to sell that 576 spots. Then we started adding people on the wait list, and it after like that, 3 or 4 days into it, I told David, like, at this point we just got to cut the wait list off. Like, you can't have more than 75, 100 people on a wait list.
Right.
So when we had to unfortunately say it's not going to happen, and we will, give anybody their money back that wants their money. We only had probably, I don't know exactly what it was, 18 or 20 teams ask for their money back.
I remember that day, and you didn't really have everybody.
People on the wait list just went right on, so it never was not sold out. So sometimes on my own, we're sending me, I want to go bigger, and but.
Dun dun dun.
So here we go. So taking it to the fairgrounds, which the venue now, it's a festival venue. It has a room. We're going to be able to have all the boards we need. So it's probably, with what's going on, there's going to be more than 200 sets of boards. So we're going to take it to 1,124 teams. I've talked to several people. I asked, just like I said, I called Ken Jones. Ken, what do you think? Ken, I value his opinion. I talked to Joe. What do you think, Joe? Can you handle it? Do you want to do it? Can we, talk to Rob? Rob probably got tired of answering my phone calls. What do you think, Rob? And Chris and everybody. And so it's overwhelming a little bit. That's a lot of teams. But, I look at it as we already have basically 600 teams, plus with the waiting list. I feel like probably it will not take long. It may not do it in 60 minutes, but it won't take long to fill up the 1,024.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And we are making some really good improvements this year. We're going to run the tournament on Scorholio, which is going to be really easier for everybody
It'll
involved.
flow very well.
It'll be easier for Joe. It'll be easier for the players. So essentially what happens is it'll be Friday will be the typical round robin. A lot of good stuff's going on Friday. We'll get into that, but then it'll go into, I think it's 386. I think is that, so it's 386 A bracket, 386 B bracket, and then the remaining in the C bracket. So essentially it's less than a 400 team tournament. Essentially, so the payouts are massive, and that's what I wanted. I this is for the players.
This gets nuts right here.
This is for the players. So I fished bass tournaments, and I fished just a local circuit. It's like they call it a professional circuit, but just a small circuit. And you get like 30 teams, and I fish about 12 to 15 tournaments. I was fishing like 25 a couple years ago, but so I think our circuits now is like 15. We pay $300. So we pay $300 to sign up. Typically it's the same guys that are always in the money, and the payout, like first place pays $2,000, second place pays $1,000, third pays like $6,000, and then that's about it. That's about all it pays, right? So the payouts really aren't that good. When I fished the big FLW tournament, that's 140 individuals, plus they have a co-angler that gets drawn to be in your boat. They don't have anything to do with you, but they do that to get more money. So they get to fish, but they can't operate the boat. They can't put their fish in your live well. That tournament costs $1,800 to sign up for it. Wow. So first place is like $75,000, but it's $1,800 a person, $1,800 plus you gotta be up there for a week practicing, so I think they get a boat. They pay out like $20,000 in cash, and then it's like a sponsored boat, right? You have to pay taxes on luxury taxes, but from there down, it only pays like $5,000 for second or third. It gets down to it pays down like 27th place, and you get like $1,600 or something, and you're talking about an $1,800, and you're talking about guys that do it for a living. I'm kind of a weekend guy in a sense. The guys that go to those tournaments they're sponsored, and that's what they do for a living. They fish 7 days a week. So it's important to me to make the payouts really strong and to pay deep and to make it worth the guy. Give more people an opportunity to cash a real check. They're going to travel out here, and I want them to cash a real check.
Right.
So
I love hearing the first place.
So the
amount of money on this.
So this is how I do it in my office. I bang my head against the wall. I have a piece of just a notebook. You know, I'm not a computer guy. I have a notebook, and I take the total pot, and then I do this every year. And I said, okay, if I pay first place this much, what do I pay second? What do I pay third? And I'll run through and I'll add it up. And like, oh, that's too much money. It's not enough money. And I'll go through it again. And it just goes on and on. And at one point, I thought I wanted to pay more for first, and then I realized I think I need to take a little bit of that back and pay a little stronger to the guys that are coming in, 10th through 24th. I feel like in a tournament like this, it's 1,000. It's a throwdown. It's a battle, right? You're going into battle, so winning is winning, no doubt. Everybody wants to win, but
Right.
I feel like with that many players, if you come in the top 20 or 30, it's a win.
Right.
I mean, you've got to go a long ways to get to there. So.
Yeah.
Make it to where these guys are going to win some real money.
Right.
So here we go. What's that say right there, Steve, for first
Jeez,
place?
Steve.
First place,
Oh boy.
30 G's. First place.
$30,000 for first place. That's nuts.
30,000,
Jeez.
which is deserving. I mean, it's deserving for the guys that win it. Like, if this is going to be the biggest, baddest
Right.
in the world, it's
gotta
got to
be the biggest, baddest
It's got to be
payout.
a bad. I mean, maybe it's not the biggest payout, in cornhole. I mean, maybe it is. I don't. I know
I
there's.
think it is.
And I
For
know
a first place
but-
finish, I think it is.
So it's 30 for first, but then I look at I don't look at second place being they're the first loser. I look at second place like fuck, you made it to the
shit.
final round.
Right.
You all the way through.
right.
You deserve a good paycheck.
Right.
So second place gets 15. Last year it was 600 teams, but it was going to be
Not $15.
15,000.
15,000.
So second place was going to get 6, and first was going to get 12, I think, last year. So now second's going to get 15, but third gets 10, fourth gets 8, fifth gets 7, sixth gets 7, seventh and eighth get 6, and then 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th get 5. So you come in 12th place, you cash a
Thousand again.
$5,000 check.
Top 12.
Top 12, 5,000.
12.
Then,
Minimum $5,000.
but it pays so deep and so strong. So it pays 48 spots. So 13th through 16th get 4,500. 17th through 24th. So 7th through 24th get $4,000. You come in 24th place, you cash a $4,000 check. So I look at it kind of like the top 30, to whatever, to kind of get the real check. So from 25th to 32nd place pays $3,000. You come in 32nd place, you win $3,000.
I don't think we should be live feeding all day. We should be playing.
Yeah.
think
So
so.
then from there it gets considerably cut down, but still from 33rd to 44th place you cash $1,000 check. Mm-hmm. So and then
crazy.
from 45th to 48th you get $500. But the key thing is $3,000 all the way down to 32nd place, which I think that's why I thought, okay, I mean, I feel like 30,000 is legit. I kind of wanted to go a little higher on the first place for
Right,
kind of like
right.
the wow. But then I started realizing, well, reset your mind. $20,000 for first place. Then tell yourself you're going to go to 30. Then you're going to say, oh shit, you're going massive, right? So, I think it's
That's
pretty.
crazy.
I think it's pretty cool.
So you're
That's
paying
crazy.
all in all $250,000.
So it's 100% payout. So I typically have about, in this tournament there'll probably be maybe 20 teams that I gave. I'll give Chad with All Cornhole. I always give a couple sponsors to him. Chad's the key guys that are really good to me and that are bigger sponsors. I'll comp them a spot, but. I look at myself as the player, not the promoter. It's not the players. If I say 100% payout, it's 100% of everybody involved. It's not,
Right.
They should get, if there's 1,024 players, it should pay 1,024 spots, not 1,000 because 24 were put in there to.
Right.
So it pays, the payout's 100% on 1,024 players. But the B bracket, about 4 years ago, we had some people thought we're coming to California, so we're gonna get some sand, I guess.
Right.
Sandbagging.
They brought their
And
bags.
there was some sandbagging going on, and you can't control it. You can't. It just is what it is. You can't control it. So after that year, I had to make adjustments in the payouts to try to minimize the sandbagging. But at the same time, it's unfortunate because I want the B bracket. If there wasn't that sandbagging aspect, they deserve to have a big
Right.
payout too. It's
Right.
their tournament as well. But what happened last year was, we had more teams, and there was teams that should have been in the A bracket that didn't try to get in the B bracket, but just they got in a tough pool. They might have had a bad game.
Right.
And so what happened last year was the competition in the B bracket was really good,
Mm-hmm.
not because of a few sandbaggers, because a higher level of play now, no
Some
doubt.
good teams.
Guys are getting so good. So the B bracket's still going to pay really good this year. So first place is going to get $4,000. I paid bigger, deeper, so I could justify trying to get this bigger without worrying about a person
Right.
sandbagging. So $4,000 to first, $2,500 to second, $2,000 to third, $1,600 to fourth, fifth through eighth get $1,500, ninth through 12th get $1,200. So you come in the 12th spot in the B bracket, you win $1,200.
Not a
You
bad
win it,
deal.
you get $4,000. I think so. And then the C bracket, there's people that I look at it kind of like I think I was explaining to Chris or somebody. Just the experience like Coachella. Like, yeah, maybe I can't win it, but for $100 dollars, splitting it with somebody, go enter the tournament and get to play with the best in the world.
Right.
Get to learn, get to do your best and see where you end up. That's nothing. So there'll be some players like that just want the experience, that want to get better, that think that everybody thinks
Oh,
they're
yeah.
on that level till they get there.
Oh yeah.
But you want them to end up at the end of the day with a decent tournament. So now the C bracket, which will have a little over 200 teams. First place is 500. I don't think anybody's going to sandbag to get in the C bracket to win 500, but they got a chance to win some money. So 500, then 400, then 300, then 4th through 21st, they get $225. They get their entry fee back.
Right.
And then after that, it pays 48 spots, but they'll be winning prizes. They'll be winning bags. They'll be winning shirts, sponsor donated stuff.
Go empty-handed.
But I'm very proud of what I ended up with the payouts. I think after I sat at my house till 10 o'clock at night, and then I went back to the office and I redid it again, and I'm pretty happy
That's a lot of money.
I'm pretty happy. I think $30,000 is
pretty
insane.
crazy.
I think you'd be dumb not to try and get into this tournament.
And but
Right.
And I think the cool thing is that how the money I was able to work out for the depth in the A bracket, so that
Right.
you come in the top 20 and you're paying for your
Right.
The goal is I want to go out there and I want to pay for I can go out there and make enough money where I'm getting a vacation and I'm not paying anything.
Right.
Ultimate goal is I'm going to go out there and
Yeah.
and win $30,000. The competition's getting really good, and there's a lot of great players,
there is.
and
Yes, there is. It's blown up pretty big.
it's blown up, and so taking it to 1,000 players, the crowd is going to be insane. So
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have bleachers this year being a $30,000 payout. I imagine there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be there to watch to see what goes
Oh, yeah.
down. That's a big. It's not like I'm burned out. I don't really care who wins. No, like they're going for $30,000, and I want to see what.
And like you were saying too, you're going to
happens.
have a full media center there too, so we'll have some great live feeds from all the games all day long, hopefully. And
Yeah, we're gonna.
Rob will be out there interviewing like he usually does, and
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be a lot of fun.
There's going to be, you guys going to be there podcasting. We're going to have opportunity for other podcasters. We're going to have a full-blown media center that is set up for, and the stage is legit. Like you're talking, it's a production crew on that stage. So the stage has, I don't know exactly what they are, but they're like 20 by 60 monitors all the way around it, that on the 101 freeway going north, when you're going north on the 101 freeway, you can see what's on those monitors and read it.
Right.
Right. So, the production, we're going to step the production up tremendously.
So I have a question for you. What do you have a date that people can go on and start grabbing those added spots?
So I'm not exactly 100% sure, but I think it's probably going to be Tuesday of
Okay.
next week. I mean, I for Memorial Weekend's coming up, and I don't want to throw that on David like it's Memorial Weekend. He's got a family. Like, that's very stressful on him. The day that we go live, David's got a lot on his plate because
So
David
what is that
takes
date?
care of
June,
that.
you know what that is?
I will let you.
And then we'll have details in the bottom in the comments and
So
stuff
it's
too.
probably gonna be the Tuesday after Memorial.
Next week would be the first.
Okay.
June 1st. Okay.
And I believe, I mean, I have no doubt in my mind it's going to sell out. I don't know if it's going to sell out in 60 minutes. I don't know if it's going to take a day or two, but it's definitely going to sell out.
Well, I think between everybody being stuck at home and now things kind of opening up and now you have the ability to go do Spencer's because it is happening, I think it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
You're gonna have plenty of time to get an airplane or get
Yeah.
a plane ticket,
Right.
get your hotel reserved.
Right.
And that's why I pulled the
So-
trigger. That's why I pulled the trigger
Yep.
now, because these guys need, it's not fair to throw something on that. They got to take vacation. They got to make arrangements.
Right.
I think a lot of guys I've talked to, like Dickie said, he goes, I trust in you so much. He goes, I already knew it was going to happen. He goes,
There were a
he
lot
said,
of
if you're going to
people
be able
like
to pull
that.
it, if
Yeah.
anybody's going to pull this off,
It's
and
gonna be you.
that's
Like I said, when I travel, we get a lot of people that ask, is Spencer's going to happen? And they're like, we just want to know if it's going to happen. We're not canceling. We
Yeah.
want to go. I'm sure it's going to happen, but we just want. So they grill me all the time.
Yeah.
They'll grill Steve, but they're dedicated. They're not. They didn't refund. They're not. They still have everything booked.
Yeah.
So
No, they just want to come to sunny
Sunny
Ventura,
California.
California, and eat the best fish
Yeah,
tacos
yeah, so
in
and
Ventura.
and we'll have
True.
a big Spencer's, since it's away from the restaurant a little bit. We'll have a really big food booth. I'll have my trailer down there. So it's gonna be, being on the grass was nice last year because it's cooler, it's
Right.
comfortable. But I think taking it down there will probably be even more comfortable, even though it's back. We're going back to our roots. We're going back to asphalt,
Right.
but we're gonna have event tents with tables and chairs under them. It's more of a big festival.
you'll have the space too.
You have the
Everybody
space.
can kinda spread out.
Everything will be on the fake grass. And then the blind draw. All the sponsored blind draw courts.
Yep.
We haven't really talked about that aspect of that.
No,
yet,
so
but-
I mean, if you don't get into the big one, come down and hang out for the day or for the weekend, and there's
Yeah.
going to be blind draws all weekend,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's the whole aspect of it. Is I always want it to be festival like and tournament like, and so now we're going to actually have the space. We're going to have vendor booths. We're going to allow people in the industry that have products, have a brand. They've always wanted to have booths. It was very difficult for me to do it before, so I'm going to be
Right.
able to have. We're going to be able to have a lot more going on and have vendor booths down there, and then we have a massive amount of blind draw sponsored courts. So there'll be a lot of people are coming, like Jason. Jason brings he books the whole airplane and brings this whole neighborhood. I think he takes a block party at his house and he takes the whole block to the party. So there's a lot of people that travel with their friends that love to play cornhole that aren't in the big tournament but want to hang out and watch, and there'll be blind draws all weekend long.
Right.
So the community can come down and play cornhole and watch and play. There's all sponsored courts. So
Yeah, if you're a backyard player, you can come down and play.
yeah, so
Come down, have a beer, play
What-
some blind draws, hang out.
yeah, so White Claw's been very true to me since first it was Cayman Jack, then it was White Claw, and they've been really, really great sponsors of mine, and I've met with James several times. James, he wasn't there last year because he had a back surgery, but James is the nicest. You've seen him there if you've been there before, because he's like 6'7" or 8", and he's like a gentle giant. And he really believes in the event. He's stepping it up big time. So we'll have a White Claw blind draw court that's going to have legitimate prizes. So, there'll be like $10 and $20 games. 24 people sign up, so it ends up being 12 teams. And but there'll be big prizes. I think he's got like a White Claw legitimate stand-up surfboard.
Nice.
It's
Yeah.
that stuff like that. There'll be, Chris and I talked about having a Jersey guy court. Well, there'll be jerseys you win. There's going to be board sponsors courts. There's going to be a couple bag courts where I'm allowing all the guys that make bags. We had this was going to happen last year, just didn't happen. So they sponsor the court with their bags, and people sign up and they play in the winning team. It's single elimination. You jump. I think that court's like $10 or $15. You jump in. It's 8 teams. The winning team goes up and wins a set of special bags, and it just goes on all weekend long. I'm working on some really big blind draw prizes for some bigger courts, and then since we're adding the additional teams, we'll add more teams to the Crew Cup and make the payout for the Crew Cup bigger.
Nice.
And we'll add another blind draw for the guys. There's a couple of those high dollar blind draws that we had.
Yep.
We'll create another one for the new people come in, so they have an opportunity to.
So basically, there's plenty of to do at Spencer's. If you don't make it into the 1,000 teams, there's a lot to do. But you should be able to get in with the added teams now, another 400 teams.
Yep.
It's gonna be. I'm like
be
I'm
insane.
like speechless right now. I'm just staring
It's
like
big news. It's the news
How
everybody's for.
far are you going to make it in the tournament?
well, top 30 for sure.
All right. So
Steve doesn't get to play.
I mean in the C bracket.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. Well, I hope everybody's excited as we are for all that news. We'll have more details in the bottom on the comments when you can go sign up when they release those other spots. More details on the events. And
Again, the biggest, baddest cornhole tournament you can possibly go to is happening, and you need to sign up and get to it.
That's right.
If you're, no matter where you're at in the U.S., even out of the U.S., this is the spot to be.
Sunny California, and enjoy throwing bags and drinking some beer.
Oh yeah. And if you guys need places to think of to go, just hit me up.
These guys will take you to all the breweries in town. You buy the beers, they'll take you to the breweries. And there's some new breweries probably since. Well, I think a few had opened up last year, but they just opened up. So, it's a great. I mean, that's another aspect of the whole event is just the town.
Oh yeah.
The town in general. It's a great town to host this event. Even though the cities, couldn't get a permit out of them, but the town's still great.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
Well, you got some magic left in that bag. You want to send them back to the?
I'm gonna send them back to
the restaurant.
Back to the restaurant. And again, thank you for everything. It's been a pleasure, and super pumped about this.
Yeah, this is awesome.
All right, I'm gonna send you back home. Ready to go?
I'm ready. Let's
right,
do
see
it.
you. Oh, there he goes.
Back to
All
the
right,
restaurant.
Back to the
work.
restaurant.
I wish I was there
I'm
now.
gonna have to go over there and get a michelada here in a
Yeah,
little
right.
bit.
I want a fish burrito. Well, guys, there you go. Big news. You can't beat that. You can't beat that news.
No. So again, as Spencer's is happening, everybody's asking at tournaments or
Same
wherever
date.
we were
That
traveling.
hasn't changed. Venues changed to a bigger
The last
fairgrounds.
weekend, August, I believe.
Yes.
So, yeah, bigger, badder than ever.
Yes.
So again, thanks John from Spencer's, his whole team.
Yep.
All the sponsors, vendors, and all that stuff. So it's
Thanks
gonna
for
be
allowing us to release this to everybody. We appreciate it, and always
So-
supporting Brews and Reviews. John's always been there for us. So
absolutely. So
very good.
again, I guess this is gonna do it for us
For now,
and then we'll have a new episode coming up here shortly.
next couple of weeks, we got Titan Bags.
Titan bags, yes sir. So
back on it.
All right. Well,
We don't have any
usually
beers.
have so
Yeah, let's do that.
cheers.
Cheers.
Spencer sauce. If you don't know what it is, go online. You can get it shipped to you.
Yep.
All right,
That's good
guys.
stuff.
We'll see you next time.
See ya.